Hey everybody, Rorree here with Totally Rorree International and with Roses Lavender and Sage.com. That is our spiritually based community built especially for women. Although we have a program, the Sage Circle, which does allow us to have both sexes in our community, in that part of our community. But anyway, this video today is about a family. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you what happened, and then I'm going to get into what happened with the family, and then I'm going to do a little divination, channeling, and things of that nature. Okay. All right. So whew, if I feel like this is getting too long, I might chop it up. It really depends. I'm kind of going with the flow, and I'm going to tell you why. This is what happened. Okay, so let's get started. So we can start. I haven't said this in a long time. Please like, share, and subscribe if you feel like the content that I provide you is valuable. I know I slam the like button as soon as I get on anybody's video. And if I like their content, I do subscribe. So if you like what you hear, definitely hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And I will probably forget to say that again. So just call that, okay? Another thing that I want to say is a disclaimer. What's going to happen today, I will say, is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, that's our disclaimer. Yes, I am an intuitive. Yes, you can go check, my background. You can look at other videos to see, who I am and what I can do. And but I'm going to just preface everything that I say today with the word alleged, because I'm talking about a real family. And so we're going to say allegedly because I did not hear from anybody in the family any of these details. Okay. So I just want you to know that. All right. So we will say alleged for everything. All right. So those are my disclaimers. And I'm just going to get straight into it. So the other night, I was taking a break from reviewing some written material that I was working on. And so I was taking a little break. So I looked at YouTube because I like watching videos or listening to videos or whatever. So I opened it up and there was this video and I was like, okay. It was one of the suggested videos and it was called The Twisted Secret of the Hart Family by Christina Randall. And I had never seen this particular young lady before. She looked pretty interesting. The title, I had never heard of the Hart family and didn't know who they were or whatever. And I have absolutely no idea why I watched this video. I really don't, but I did. And I forget how long the video was, but it wasn't short. And I watched the whole video nonstop. And I was very surprised. I know at some point I was wishing certain things, but anyway, so let me just summarize the story that she told. So this young lady, I didn't know her from a can of paint, like I said, and what she did was she described this Hart family, and she described the things that were happening with this family. So I'm just gonna dive in. Okay, so the Hart family. All right, so this family was Jennifer and Sarah Hart were the mothers. Okay, so there were two lesbian mothers, and they eventually got married or whatever. I'm not going to tell Christina. I'm going to give you enough details from Christina's story, but I'm not going to get into all of the details, okay? Because I want to keep the main thing. So anyway, so these two mothers eventually got married and they decided to have foster children. And, as a former foster care worker, because that's where I started one of my careers, I left that particular one, but this, I was a social worker and for child welfare. And I know I've heard so many things, especially as of late, about child protective services or CPS or whatever people want to call it. And I can say that when I was a CPS social worker, I was a good one. I was not involved in any nefarious activities. Quite frankly, I think I was so involved in one of my cases where I was trying to save a child that was about to be in the middle of nefarious activities. Like I went above and beyond my whole career as a CPS social worker. So when I hear the things that people say about CPS today, I can believe it. Okay. It's not that I'm in disbelief, because I am in total belief, but it's interesting that that was what I used to do. And I did not see that at all. I had no inclination that that was going on. I had no clue, honestly, that anything like what has happened with these children, not this particular set, but whatever. So anyway, these young ladies were fostering children. Okay. So they were fostering one girl at one time, and I think she was an older girl, and then three little kids. And they were all siblings, and they all had different parents, maybe different fathers. Okay. And these three, the first three were Abigail, Marquise, and Hannah. So they're Abigail, Marquise, and Hannah Hart. Abigail was 2, Hannah was 4, and Marquise was 7. And they look a little biracial. Just by their picture, they look a little mixed with something. I don't know. Okay. All right. So they adopted them in 2006, or that's when they got this first set, in 2006. And they had another girl who was older, but they decided to give the older girl back. And then so she went back into the foster care system and went to somebody else. And then they got 3 other children. And but both so Jennifer and Sarah, not that it matters, but they were Caucasian. And then all the children that they fostered and then subsequently adopted were Black children. They look like they were Black or mixed with African American, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Alrighty then. One looked like Abigail, Marquise, and Hannah. They look like they could have been Hispanic, maybe. I don't know. Hispanic or Hispanic and Black or something like that. So anyway, here we go. So those 3, they were the first set of siblings. Again, they gave the one child back. And she has been interviewed, the one child that they gave back. Lucky for her, they gave her back, right? When you hear how this story goes. The second set of siblings were Sierra, Devonte, and Jeremiah. And these 3 came from a family that a Black family in Texas. I think all of this started in Texas. And the mother was I think she had a substance abuse issue or whatever, and they tried to keep the children in the family, but things went wrong, so they didn't stay in the family. Christina goes more into detail into that set of circumstances. Now, I don't remember how old Abigail, Sierra, and Devonte, Sierra, Devonte, and Jeremiah. I'm not sure how old they were, but they were similar in age to the others. Okay. All right. So, okay. So here's how this story begins after they go to adopting these children. And one thing that you should know is that when you adopt children or when you foster children, if you didn't know, but you do get paid a monthly stipend for the children. And sometimes when you adopt them, you still get a monthly stipend, but it might be a smaller stipend after you adopt the child. So I'm just letting you know this. So they could have been receiving maybe about $3,000 a month, maybe for all 6 towards the end of things, but when they were fostering, they probably were receiving more. They probably were receiving maybe, 800, 1200, 1400, 1600. It really depends. It varies on the diagnosis that the child has and also where you're located. It might vary due to the cost of living. So at the beginning, before they adopted the children, they probably were bringing in a lot more money for the children, to take care of the children, than towards the end after they had adopted them all. All right, I'm sorry, I'm just getting comfortable and taking off my little footies so I can get comfy up in here. All right, so now, so it appears that all of this began around 2006. All right, now 2008, now the kids are in school, and Hannah, she was 6 years old at the time, so this is 2 years after they got with these parents here. Okay, so she was in school, and the teacher noticed that she had a bruise on her arm. And when the teacher asked about the bruise on her arm, she said, "Oh, well, my mom beat me with a belt." And so when they further looked at her, they saw bruises all over. Now, as a former social worker in child protective services and child welfare, I did, like, if we saw a bruise or something, well, whatever, you can kind of look further to see if there's more. And then we were trained on just looking for old bruising, old wounds, welt marks, whips, loops, where you would see, what the belt was doing, what part of the belt they were using. You could kind of tell how old the wounds were, how often the child is whipped with a belt. If you see buckle marks, that is the biggest no-no. When you see the buckle marks, it's like, oh, hell no. When you see the buckle marks, it's over. It's a wrap, because, like, you're not, I mean, like, people my age, we got whipped with the belt. I'm just saying, okay? And, I don't think you can do it now, but people my age got beat with the belt. But it was always with the leather part of the belt, not with the buckle. The buckle, you could harm somebody with the leather part too, but with the buckle, that was just unheard of. Because, I mean, if you've ever seen someone get whipped, or if you remember when you got whipped, you're like dancing around and jumping around like a jumping jelly bean, and then your parents whipping you to every syllable of their word. They making up syllables. Didn't I tell you not to? And you like jumping around, as you getting a spanking. I'm just saying, okay? And if you're doing that with the buckle part, you could really accidentally hurt the child, like seriously injure a child that way. There's a little stick that pokes. Yeah, I mean, come on now. So anyway, so they notice a pattern of whip marks, loops, or whatever on the child. So they did call the authorities. Now, I don't know what authorities they called, because a lot of what happened, I don't know. I'm going to try to reserve judgment. Okay, so anyway, so they called the authorities, and then, wait a minute. So she said, what happened? I was whipped. But when the authorities came to investigate the situation, the authorities were told by the mothers that she fell down the steps, that Hannah fell down the steps, or that they couldn't recall what happened or something like that. So some kind of way they blew it off. And, that was that. Then 2 months later, Hannah was removed from the school. So now, as soon as y'all get a phone call, they remove the child from the school. Okay. Now in 2010, so now we're jumping forward to 2010. They were at a new school, and the new school was noticing the abuse. So I feel like after, when they removed her from school, maybe they removed all of them from the school, and then they went to a new school. So by 2010, the new school started noticing things as well, and noticing signs of abuse. So this time, Abigail, who was 6 years old, she told the school that her mother, Jen, because she knows she had two moms, Jen and Sarah. So her mother, Jen, grabbed her by the neck and held her head under the water um, for a period of time or whatever. And so they must have saw some bruising on her or whatever. And so the school is like, like what? Like, why would she do that? And so, what's her name? Abigail said that she did it, and I'm looking at my notes, y'all. She did it because Jen found a penny in her pocket, Abigail's pocket, and she was accusing Abigail of stealing the penny. And so Abigail said she didn't steal the penny. So she was saying that she was lying. So her punishment was she was trying to drown her, I guess, in water. That seems reasonable, right? Like what on what planet do people do that? But anyway, okay, so this is what happened. She yokes her up the neck, and so they notice this bruising, right? Okay, so now the authorities are called, and so this is 2010. So the authorities are called, and Jen or Jennifer blames it on Sarah. And I forgot to give the description. So Sarah was the one that had a job. So Sarah worked and Jen was like the stay-at-home mom. Okay. Okay. And then, okay, so now Jennifer blamed it on Sarah. And Sarah took the blame. Okay. And then so Sarah was charged with domestic abuse and was placed on probation for a year. Now, what I didn't like about that was you're charged with domestic abuse, not from your spouse or somebody that could defend yourself, but you're charged with domestic abuse of a kid. And your punishment is probation for a year. Were you still in the house? Like, I don't get that. Like, really? I totally don't. I don't get that one. Like, what else happened there? Like, okay. All right. So then in 2011, who was this? I'm trying to see which child this was. I don't know which child this one is, but in 2011, one of the children told the school nurse that that she hadn't eaten, and so she was hungry. And these kids were known as the hungry kids, and so other students would bring them food, and it was said that they were sometimes observed trying to grab things from the trash can and things of that nature. So these children were hungry. So this let's see. So these things were happening at school, and the authorities would get called. However, the teachers at this particular school felt uncomfortable constantly calling the authorities, because whenever they would call the authorities, the children will remain in the home. And so what's the purpose of calling the authorities if the kids remain in the home? Because then you're going to think that when they go home, they're going to get beaten or something, and they're not showing up. It's not like they end up having food afterwards, you know what I mean? So they're scared now to call CPS because nothing appears to be going right as they're calling CPS. Okay. So then they had even asked friends and family at this point. I believe this is, yeah, they had even asked friends and family about the kids. They said what they had to say. They reported that they didn't feel that the kids were in a good place, but the authorities felt like they didn't have enough to remove the kids. Now, these kids would have been gone if they were on my caseload or if I was the investigator, because at one point, that's what I did. At one point, I went out and I investigated abuse and neglect. And I either worked on the evening shift or I worked on the midnight shift. So I went out, I investigated the situation, and I made a decision whether the kids stayed or were removed. You know, if they stayed, I made a decision as to whether they needed other services put in place to assist the family, to monitor things or whatever, or um, if they stayed, I also could bring it to an in-home services scenario where it's deeper monitoring, or I could refer them to a collaborative in the community that could put people in place to help work with the family. But the whole thing is, you got to have your eyes on them. Okay, when I started the field of social work back in the mid 90s, early to mid 90s, um I recall we had to we a lot of us were brought on board right after this woman. She had like 6 kids or something, and the kids didn't go to school anymore. Like the school didn't know where the kids were. I even think they may have had a social worker. The social worker didn't know where the kids were. Mama had, the kids were still in the house, you know, and they were not whole anymore. It was just a horrible story. Okay. And we were all hired. They had to hire a whole batch of workers because they realized that the system was inundated and the people weren't laying their eyes on the kids. And you have all these different systems that are missing the kids, but nobody knows that for months these kids were like in a refrigerator or something. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember it was the Jackson kids or something. And so the LaShawn order, the LaShawn decree, that's where we all got brought in under the LaShawn decree. And this was in Washington, D.C. back in the day. Okay. So anyway, what they mandated was that social workers would have a smaller caseload, okay? Because you could have a case, the case is the mother could have 8 kids, you know, and you have to, as a social worker, you would have to monitor all the cases. So I'm gonna just tell you, back in my heyday, if this was my case, these kids would have been snatched up out, okay? Because when it comes to children and you're already a foster parent, you're not even the parent. Like, really? And I'm getting abuse and what? And I'm seeing repeated welts. What? They would have been removed. Okay. If they would have been removed pending investigation. And let me investigate with that friggity frackety going on. And I'm gonna talk to everybody. And I'm gonna make a decision whether they coming back home. You know what I'm saying? Because for real, you're not their biological. I'm seeing welt marks. I'm seeing children that don't eat. I'm getting all these different kind of complaints. And for me, I was a digger. You know what I mean? I would dig. I knew the questions to ask, but you know what? Back then, I don't know that I knew I was intuitive. So I probably because of my gifts and abilities, I knew the questions to ask. I knew who to go to. I knew who to call, you know, to get my investigation done. But I don't know what kind of mess this was, because those kids would have been gone. Okay. Because I mean, to me, you had enough. If I see a whelped up body in this day and age, that I'm gonna have a question. Okay. So if I have a whelped up body, I have a big question mark. I'm gonna look at the rest of the kids. What your body look like? I'm gonna talk to the family. I'm probably gonna put services in the family because maybe you don't know how to manage your stress. If the only way you know how to reprimand or whatever is through whipping up a person, like maybe we should try some other is that working? She got a whole bunch of freaking whelps all over her, you know, and old bruising. Is that method working? It don't look like it, because if she got whip marks all over her body, then your method, you might need a new method. How about that? And then they got all the pictures all over the social media. They all meditating and everything. And well, if y'all know how to meditate, well, why you got your belt out all the time? Like, just something wrong with this picture. You know, I'm just saying, and something wrong with the social workers. But, you know, maybe they just don't have the tools in their toolbox to be able to assess a situation. Or maybe social workers aren't even called when it's in these places. I don't know. I never worked as a social worker in Texas, although I did live in Texas. But I did not work as a social worker there. So I don't know how they operate. I don't know who you call. I don't know who trained them. I don't know what it takes to be a social worker. I don't know. You have to have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, a GED. I don't know. But for these people to think that they didn't have enough, for the teachers to be so concerned about how many CPS calls that they're making, that they decide to stop calling because it's all for naught, then, you know, come on now, who is working on this case? It's showing up with me, okay? Because this case wouldn't have gotten as far as it got if I was on the case. And I'm just saying, when I watched this video, I was so disturbed. I was just disturbed. So anyway, let's get on with the story. So, let's see. So friends and family reported they didn't feel like the home was a good home for these kids. They reported that the kids would have to walk in single file line. They reported that the kids would have to raise their hand when they wanted to speak. I did that in school, but I didn't do that at home. But also, it wasn't 6 of me, okay? So maybe with 6 kids, to have some order in the house, maybe raising your hand is cool, okay? Maybe walking in single file so you're not running all over the house, okay. But there was repeat patterns of marks. That was one of the first reports. How'd that get through? How did that get through without having in-home services in the house? Some kind of monitoring service. Because when the worker is assigned to monitor the case, they talk to the doctor, they talk to the school, they talk to the family. You know, this is part of an investigation. You have to make a decision whether you should keep the case open or close it. That marks all over? Nope. Immediate, we need to look more at this. Open the eye, put some glasses on, and look at this joker. These are children here. And this is a foster family or whatever. Okay? So come on now. Oh. Okay. So then that was 2011 and on. Then when her probation was over, when Sarah's probation was over, they rolled out. They was like, we out of here though. It's getting too hot in here. They was like, it's getting hot in here, so let's get the hell out. Okay, so they left. In 2013, they left and they moved to Oregon, Westland, Oregon. Okay, they rented a house there. All right, so let's see. Okay, wait a minute. I think all of that stuff that I just mentioned happened after they moved to the next place in 2013. So the nurse reporting that the child was underweight and all this stuff, and all of that I had just reported, the family saying stuff and everything, that was after they had moved to Westland, Oregon in 2013. So then they moved again. Now you can go listen to Christine. She gonna tell the story right? All right, without my commentary. All right, so then 2017, okay, they moved again to Washington State. So it was getting too hot. You got the family talking, the police keep coming over, they're getting a whole bunch of different reports from the school. The school tired of reporting. You know, the school probably like, what's wrong with y'all CPS? What's your problem? You know, if they had a CPS in Oregon, I don't know how they work, okay? All right, so then 2017, they moved to Washington State, okay? So in Washington State, they had a 2-acre lot. So the neighbors were quite a distance away. Now they're being homeschooled. So they fixed everybody. Y'all ain't gonna be able to tell nobody now. Ha! We gonna homeschool your butt. Okay, so that's what they did. All right. On March 23rd, 2017, the authorities were called because the neighbors reported that the children looked malnourished and they look thin and they look frail. And they described the 12-year-old. They said the 12-year-old looks like she's 7 years old. When you see these kids' pictures, they do look small and their bones look small. It's just sad. Okay. Anyway, they said the 12-year-old was missing teeth in the front of her mouth. And the guy was like, the neighbor was asking the parents, what's up with the 12-year-old? What's up with her? What's up with her mouth? Why is she missing teeth? And they said she didn't want them replaced. Okay. She didn't want them replaced. So you're trying to tell me a 12-year-old, I believe this was Hannah, a 12-year-old's not gonna want her front teeth replaced. First of all, how did they get knocked out? Hello? How did they get knocked out? That's what I want to know. Okay. All right. So this child's missing some front teeth. And the excuse they used was she didn't want them replaced. What 12-year-old want to walk around with snaggletooth? Come on now. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's why every time you see Hannah's face, her mouth is closed because she don't want nobody to see her teeth missing. Woo! Okay. So the authorities were called. Okay. That's March 23rd. Then August 17th at 1:30 in the morning, Hannah's 14. So the 12-year-old must have been the other one. Okay. So, but I think Hannah's the one with the teeth missing. But the 12-year-old, which one is the 12-year-old? I don't remember. I can't. It's too many. Okay. I'll be forgetting how old I am. Talk about trying to remember how old 6 children are. Okay. So I don't know who the 12-year-old one was, but Hannah was 14. So Hannah at 1:30 in the morning jumps out the second story window of the house and she runs. Now this is a 2-acre lot. Okay. So she runs to the neighbor's house. She bangs on the door. This is 1:30 in the morning. She bangs on the door. This is what the neighbor is reporting. And they let her in. She's frantic and she's like, please don't let them come. Don't let them find me. She runs into the mother's, the lady that lives there, the bedroom, and like sitting on the floor, probably like, please, crying and begging them not to let the mothers know. And then the mother came, the husband gave in and gave the, child back to the mother. I mean, what else could he do? Honestly, I mean, maybe he could have called the police. I don't know. So anyway, so after the lady who lived in that next door neighbor's, that house, her father, when he was told what happened, he was infuriated. So he called the police. Okay. So he called the authorities. And he reported what happened to the authorities. And so then CPS came out. And when they came out, they saw the mothers pulling into the garage. And then they closed the garage door. And so they knocked on the door, whatever. And the mothers didn't open the door. The mothers was like, whatever. They was acting like they were Jehovah's Witnesses or something. They was like, we not answering that door. Okay. So that was when was that? I think, was that August? I think that was August, right? I think. So now, no, I'm not sure if I knew when that took place. Let me see. Yeah, that was August. Okay, so that was August. Now this next thing that happened, Devonte, that was the boy. I'm not sure how old he was well, I guess he was similar to whatever. So he might have been 14 or 15 at this time. Okay. So now Devonte goes to the next door neighbor's house and he's like, can you please give us some food? And they're like, Okay. And so he was asking for food, like bread and like stuff for sandwiches and canned goods and different things. So he was asking for some serious food, right? And so and then he said, and can you take the food and put it by the fence? So he wanted the food put beside the fence where he could go get it easily without being seen. So they did this, and the husband said that they did this for a while. And then they figured, you know what, we might need to tell somebody. So they told the authorities. All right. So now we're into 2018. Okay. So you see why I say, so this is from March and August, so all this time these kids are being abused the whole time. These kids are malnourished, you know. I mean, I don't even know what to say. So now we're into 2018. We're in another year living next to the same people, and so did they move again this time? Because at some point they moved again. Let me see. Okay. So now, um, so they were feeding them the food or whatever. So then the husband calls and the CPS come out, they do all that thing, they ignore them or whatever. And so then CPS does a couple more welfare checks, and then they never answered the door. Okay. And so then on March the 24th of 2018, Sarah, the mother, Sarah, who was a retail store manager, at 3 o'clock in the morning, she texted one of her coworkers and shared that she wasn't going to be able to make it into work that next day. And she was a store manager, so that's kind of a big deal. If you calling somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning and you supposed to open and you talking about you can't come, I don't know what kind of store it is, but she probably had keys and everything for the store. I don't know, but anyway, so she wasn't coming to work. So they found that strange. They said she was a model employee. She never would do anything like this. They found it very, very odd. So she did not come to work that next day. And this was March 24th. And then, let me see. Did I miss one of the moves? Because I feel like they moved to California. Somehow, I think I missed one of their moves. I probably skipped a page or something. After the August situation, did they move after that? The relatives and authorities, a few months later, I don't know. They might have moved after that too, because I feel like they moved finally to Florida. Okay, so finally they moved to Florida. Maybe all of this here was happening in Florida. I can't get it straight, but that's not even a point. I'm just trying to give you the gist. Watch Christina's thing, and I'm gonna put her link for her video in the description box. So definitely watch hers, and you can get all the time frames. But now I feel like they were in California when they were getting all these welfare checks, and then on March 2018, or they moved to California after that. I don't know. But I feel like this all was happening in California. Sorry for my rambling and trying to figure this out. I mean, the thing is, Spirit asked me to go move forward, and I received several spiritual messages to move forward with this, not worry about it being clean, and because it's not really about this, it's about what's coming next. So my apologies for not being like really Johnny on the spot with the story. I'm trying to get it the best that I can. So I apologize if I'm annoying you trying to figure it out for myself. All right. So anyway, so now March 24th, 2018, Sarah called in to work. And then she just never came back. And the coworkers thought this was so strange that they called hospitals and everything, and they could not find where Sarah was. Sarah just was nowhere to be found. That was the 24th. Then on the 26th of March, a German tourist was looking over the cliffs in California into the water and taking pictures and stuff. And when he looked down, there was the Jeep that the family drove, a GMC or something, I don't know, some truck that the family drove, and it was at the bottom of the thing, you know, over the cliff. Okay. So at this point, I'm like done, because I have seen all this craziness, and I kid you not, when they kept saying that though there was a welfare check and the people kept going back and back and forth, right? And I was hoping, honestly, I was really hoping that they were going to come in there and the kids would have ganged up on the parents and had a crazy situation, tied them up, maybe did something else to them, I don't know. But at that point in the story, I really wanted them out of here. I was so upset by that time listening to this story. I'm just going to be honest. That's kind of how I felt. And for it to go here with this truck at the bottom of the cliff. So I'm praying all the kids run in there. Okay. So they find Sarah and Jennifer. That's her name, Jennifer. And they were in there. Nobody had on seatbelts. And three of the kids were found like 100-something yards from the vehicle. And now the water was there. So there was water crashing in on the truck and everything. So there was water there. They went into the water, but they missed going all the way into the water. They kind of was like on the side, you know, right before massive water, but water was still going in and out of the vehicle. It was enough to be seen. I'm sorry, because they showed pictures of this as well. Okay. All right. So 3 kids. Let me try to follow these notes. Jennifer and Sarah Hart were in the Jeep. Marquise, Abigail, and Jeremiah were a few hundred yards away from the vehicle. And everybody so far was deceased. Then 2 weeks later, Sierra's body was washed up. And then a few days after that, they found a shoe. This is a little graphic. They found a shoe with a foot. And I feel like she said they found some size 10 jeans or something like that. So by this point, I'm like, I am so in shock watching this by this point. I was upset. I was in shock. I had never heard of this. I felt horrible. Like, it was awful. When they had investigated, they saw that there were no skid marks and the odometer was on 90 miles per hour, or the speedometer, whatever you call it, was on 90 miles per hour. In the house, they said the house wasn't set up for children. The house didn't have anything. The house didn't even look like children lived there, except for there were a few board games somewhere, but the house was like really spick and span. They're saying that the mothers didn't drink, but there were 11 bottles of wine there. They said that Jennifer's alcohol content was very high. I believe they said that Sarah had done a Google search prior to, going over the cliff. And her Google searches were, can 500 milligrams of Benadryl kill a 120-pound woman? Is death by drowning relatively painless? How long does it take to die from hypothermia while drowning in a vehicle? And the other one was no kill shelters for dogs. So apparently they had pets and they wanted the pets to go to a shelter that was a no kill shelter. So they wanted to save the pets, but not anybody else. Okay. They said that large amounts of Benadryl were found in 2 of the children and a large amount of alcohol. I believe that was Jennifer that had the alcohol. Yeah. So after I watched that, I was a little disturbed. And I was doing, I do a little bit of practice, dowsing or scrying or whatever you want to call it. I do practice and using my intuition. And I'm pretty good. But so I use my intuition to guide me to what scenarios to discuss. And then I just ask questions about whatever, like maybe I want to validate this that I'm hearing or whatever. Okay. So I'm sitting there. So now let me turn to my other notes. Where are they? Oh, right here in this notebook. All right. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm a little upset, and something says, so they never found one of the kids, Devonte. Okay. I'm sorry. An hour later, she remembers something very important. They never found Devonte's body, and they just assumed he's dead. Okay. And so I heard that he wasn't. That's what I heard in my spirit. I heard he's not dead. So I pulled out my pendulum and I asked, is the kid Devonte Hart, is he alive or is he dead? Is he alive? I asked. Yes. Are you sure he's alive? Yes. Are you sure he's alive? Yes. Well, where is he? and I said, what state is he in? And they told me, a Cityana state. And by the time they were spelling, so they told me a Cityana state. I wrote it down. No, I didn't write it down, right? Then I usually write down everything, but I was in such a state that I was not in a good place. Okay. And so then I asked, well, how old is he? Now I couldn't remember how old he was from the thing. So it was giving me some age, and I was like, I don't feel like he's that age. But it was like spinning around for a while before it gave me an age. And I was like, I don't feel like he's that age. And so I was like, who am I talking to? Because I usually am talking to like one of a couple spirits or deities or ancestors or guides or my higher selves or whatever, right? But I felt something different about this line of communication. So I said, are you coming from I always say, are you coming from a place of pure love? Are you coming from a place of pure love? Who is this? Who is this messing around with me tonight, playing, you know? And I got yes. And I was like, okay, well, who am I talking to right now? Like, I'm wondering which one of my ancestors am I talking to right now? Who is this? And I got a spelling, Hannah Hart. I never channeled. I talk to spirit, okay? But never this way before, okay? Usually it's just my beloved, my collective, my group that works with me. Usually when I hear from spirit, when it's for somebody else, whatever, I hear differently, So I was so shaken up. I was like, I didn't know what to ask. I was like, what in the heck is going on here? And so I was like, I was crying, and I was just like, I am so sorry for what happened to you guys. And I just kind of had a conversation with her, and I asked her, well, what do you want? And she said, everyone thinks, I'm going to read what she said. Everyone thinks the body of my brother is in the ocean, and I want people to know he is alive. So then I recognized why she didn't know how old he was. She's not here. And she was guessing how old she thought he might be, because you know she don't know how long she's been where she is. And I pray if I cry, bear with me because I already feel it. So I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? Okay. And so I spoke to one of my spirit guides. I'm sorry. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, you like, really? So I said, you know, where did that video come from? How did I end up watching that? Like, I'm thinking maybe she was reaching out to me because she knows I'm an intuitive, she knows I'm a medium or something. And so I was like, how did this happen? How did I watch this video? The whole thing. And my guide told me basically that he sent it to me. And I was like, why? And he said, so you could help. So I was instructed to do a video. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But I said, okay. Because I've learned, especially recently, that I'm going to do as I'm asked to do. I had a client, and I think I've shared this story, but I had a client and I had a whisper more than once to check on them, and I didn't. I was like, I'll check on them tomorrow. And by tomorrow, she had been attacked by her daughter, and I heard it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if I would have checked on her and like shared, like maybe they would have been more alert. And so I was like, I promise when I hear something and I'm told to act, I will. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I think I got myself together. I hope I don't cry again. Okay, so anyway, so let me get back to this story. So basically, he said that he kind of put the video in my face so that I could help. And I was hearing other things about the boy, Devonte. And I kind of heard that he felt guilty. I heard that he left like the day before. I feel like the day before is when he left. And I didn't validate this either. But I did feel like he left the day before, and he knew that something was going to happen that next day. I feel like he may have overheard something, and he got out of there. And when they were leaving, they really just had to go. And I don't know. I'm going to do further reading on what happened to him. But now, I'm sorry, if you see me quiet, I'm just kind of listening. So before I got started tonight, I was asking my guides and angels, because this was the day before yesterday. So I was asking my guides and angels, well, I was really asking my guides, should I do it now? Like, should I do this right now? And I got yes. And I asked who was I talking to, and it was Hannah. And so she was ready. She wants to say something. So, Hannah, I just want to say, I know that you were here before I got started, and I want to just talk to you like this versus using the pendulum, because the pendulum is going to take forever if you have to spell out everything that you want to say. So I'll just listen for whatever it is you want me to share. And I'm hearing her and she's saying, she's just repeating, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She's crying. Okay, so she is sad. She has been watching over her brother. Now, this particular brother is not her biological brother. This was one of the second set of siblings, Devonte. Okay, she's saying that she wants me to use the pendulum because she wants to. So I'm gonna press pause for a second and see what she wants to say through the pendulum, so you don't have to wait through the whole spelling. So give me one moment. Okay, so kind of just got a message to just record this part. Okay, so we're going to start. Hannah is going to spell out what it is that she wants to talk about. What you could do is just put this on high speed so that you can breeze through this. Okay. Okay, the first letter is I, L, O, V. Are you saying I love? Yes. Okay. D, A, V, O. Are you saying Devonte? Is that how you spell Devonte? Yes. Okay. I love Devonte. Okay. So you want to say you love Devonte. So Devonte, I pray that this video can reach you so you can know that your sister Hannah says that she loves you. Do you want to say anything else, Hannah? I M I S. Okay, you're saying I miss. Why? Okay, so you want to say I miss you. Okay. Are you saying I miss you? Okay. Oh boy. All right. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Because I won't be able to see. Okay. Tears in this don't work well because then you can't see. Okay. So you told Devonte that you miss him. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to say to Devonte? No. Okay, so I am gonna share what she told me day before yesterday with the authorities so that they can look for him and help him because I'm gonna ask some questions now because I did get some information. I just want to validate it since she has been watching him. Okay, Hannah or my guides, can you tell me? Can you confirm that Devonte is alive, please? Yes. Okay. Um, when did Devonte leave the house? And what I mean, like when, like, did Devonte leave the house the same day that the family went on the road trip to to their demise? Did Devonte leave that day, or did Devonte leave that same day? No. Um, how many days prior to um, what day was that? How many days prior to March 26, 2018? Like what date did Devonte leave? Did he leave in March of 2018? Yes. Can you tell me what date in March that Devonte left the house, please? 2, 5, 25. So what day? So he left the day before. Okay. So that's kind of what I got, that he left the day before. Can you please tell me why did he decide to leave on the 25th? Why did Devonte leave? Did he run away? Did Devonte run away? Yes. Did Jennifer and Sarah know? Well, I don't want to ask that. Um, why did he run away, please? Can you please share why he ran away? Eight, what? Wait a minute. It moved. I moved. It moved. H E. He. L I L I E. Lie. D. Lied. He lied. Okay. He lied. Okay. So, um, is there more to that? He lied. A. N. D. He lied and N. Oh, no. Do I have that wrong? Yes. Sometimes I can't see. Okay, so he lied. Let's start back from he lied. So he lied. Uh, did he lie? And what? What happened after he lied? Or is I don't know. I'll let you talk. M. My. He lied and my M O M. He lied and my mom W A S. He lied and my mom was, and I'm starting to feel pain in my hand. And sometimes um when I'm doing things and there's a pain associated with it, it could be emotional pain, physical pain, or whatever. I might get a pain shoot through my hand, and I just want to let you know I was having one. Okay, so he lied, and my mom what? K E P kept. He lied, and my mom kept. Y E L kept yelling. He lied, and my mom kept yelling. A T H. Okay, so he lied and my mom kept yelling at him. Okay. So when she kept yelling at him, is that why he ran away? Because she kept yelling at him? Yes. Did she hit him? Did she hit him that night or that day? Was this daytime or nighttime when she was yelling at him? D, daytime. Okay. What did he lie about? Do you know? Do you know what he lied about? Supposedly? Yes. What was she saying he lied about? E, V, E, excuse me, R, Why? Every what? I'm sorry. He lied about every what? H. Are you pointing to the H? Okay. G. Okay, so he lied about every G what? G. O. I. Oh, ever, not every. Is it ever? Did he lie about going somewhere? Is that what you're saying? He lied about ever going somewhere? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Oh. Were they asking him about going to the neighbors to ask for food? Yes. Was he telling them that he didn't do that? Yes. Oh boy. Do you know when they realized he was gone? Yes. Was it in the morning when they realized he was gone? Yes. Did you know that he had left? Yes. Did they try to find him before you all left for the drive? Yes. Were they able to find him when you all left to go on your drive? No. Were you awake in the car while y'all were on your drive? Yes. Do you want to share anything about that drive with me? Do you remember anything about the drive? Yes. Do you want to share anything about the drive? No. Okay. Do you feel like, do you think that your parents, Jennifer and Sarah, do you think they knew they were taking you all for the drive that day? Do you think they knew that they were going to take you all for a drive that day? Did Devonte know that they were going to take you all for a drive the next day? No. That poor child. All right, Hannah, do you want to say anything else for now? We can definitely come back. But do you want to say anything else today? No. All right, Hannah, thank you so much for sharing today. And I will do what I can to help them find Devonte. I hope I'm saying his name right. I believe it's Devonte. But I pray that they find Devonte and that he receives the help that he requires. I do feel like he's not doing well. He feels like they left because of him, and they did not. Devonte, if you are seeing this, they did not leave because of you, okay? It was not your fault. You did everything. You did so much. You and Hannah, y'all did so much to try to save each other, to try to escape. I could see it in your pictures. I could see through the pain. I could see through those smiles that you all were in so much pain. Hannah's smiles were never real. I don't know why nobody could see that. The picture of Devonte crying, hugging the police officer, those tears were not about that protest or whatever. Those tears were not about no hug festival or whatever. Those tears were pain. That boy wanted somebody to help him. He would be about 19 now. And I believe 1915. 19 or 18. I don't know. I think it'd be 18. But I don't feel like he has a home. I feel like he's suffering. His mind has played many tricks on him because he doesn't know why they decided to leave. And Devonte, if you're listening, I want you to know that they were sick. They were sick. Okay? And they took it out on you guys, but they were sick. It wasn't your fault. You did what was right. You tried to help. You tried to feed your siblings. You know, you had them, your neighbors sneak you food so you could make sure that your siblings ate. You did what was right. You did. You are a great child. You didn't get to be a child. You got to be a puppet for some idiots, some crazy women. And you really have to know you're a beautiful young man. You're a beautiful little boy. And you have to know that Hannah loves you. And somehow they reached out to me, spooking me out. But they reached out to me so that we can reach out to you and get you some help, get you some shelter, get you the love that you deserve. Because all you did was try to give love, and you just were with the wrong people. I just, I don't even have the words. All I can do is send you love because you deserve to be loved. You do. You deserve to know what that feels like. I hope your mom, your real mom, I hope she's better. I really do. I don't know anything about her, but and I didn't ask any questions, but I hope she's better. I hope I hope you could find your family that really loved you. You know, I know they made a mistake and you couldn't stay with them, but I don't know. You deserve love. You do. You didn't deserve what those ladies did. Neither did your siblings. None of them. None of y'all deserve that. And I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to send you love. I'm going to send you healing. I'm going to do everything I can to help them find you so they can give you some protection. You deserve to be protected. You don't deserve what you got. That was horrible. None of y'all deserve that. And I know right now you blame yourself. That's what I heard, intuitively. And it wasn't your fault. You did what was right. Your neighbors did what was right. Your teachers, they all did what was right. The system failed y'all. And those two ladies, or whatever you want to call them, those monsters, they knew that they couldn't escape this time. And they had planned this before you ran away. So it wasn't your fault, okay? They had planned to leave the earth's plane before you ran away. Okay? But I'm going to send you some healing, lots of love. I'm going to help you with the emotions, with the memories. I'm going to send that to you. I can do long distance healing, so I'm going to send it to you. And I know you will receive it because I've been doing this work for over 20 years. So I know you're going to receive what I send. And when they find you, I want to meet you because I want to get a hug. And I want to give you a hug because you deserve a hug. Okay? So there might be a part 2 to this. I don't know. But I'm going to let the spirit guide me and lead me and let me know what to do next, who to call next. The first thing I was told to do was this, and I'm just talking. So for those of you who are watching, I'm sorry that this was long and drawn out. I do not usually record myself doing this kind of work here with the pendulum because it takes a long time. And the pendulum, like, it's unpredictable sometimes. Like sometimes I can't read it, I can't see, sometimes I get the words mixed up or the letters mixed up. But this work is extremely accurate. The information that I receive from spirit that's validated using the dowsing or the scrying has been really, really accurate. So reach out to me. I look at my messages on YouTube. I do. I'm not sure what platform you're gonna see this on, but reach out. If you're homeless, go to a shelter. Find somebody that can help you. There are people out there that really care. I believe the people that were trying to help you cared. I just feel that sometimes the systems are so messed up and so screwed up that they're not really set up to help. Sometimes, I'm just being honest, sometimes the systems seem like retarded, the systems that are there to help you guys, the little people, sometimes there's red tape. Sometimes a person just doesn't know what to do. Like I said earlier in the video, being intuitive and being a social worker that I was back in the day, dealing with child welfare, I think that was an advantage of mine. Um, I made assessments quickly, and I feel like it was because I was intuitive. So spirit was probably talking to me, telling me, what to do, what to look at, who to call, what questions to ask. I think instinctually, it just was natural for me. So I pray that you find someone that you can talk to. If you don't reach out to me, reach out to somebody to help you. Don't think that the whole system is corrupt. I can understand if you feel that the system was not there for you, because it wasn't. It did not work for you guys at all. It didn't work well. I'll probably do another video on this and maybe release some resources. I'm gonna look for some resources in your area. And I'm also gonna reach out, but I'm gonna talk to spirit first and see what I should do first to help you. Um, and I'm gonna pray that somebody comes your way that helps you, because you need somebody to help you. And don't be afraid of therapists and people like me. Like, I'm not a therapist. I have been a therapist. I don't really like traditional therapy because I like alternative healing work better. I feel like it works a little bit quicker and it's more lasting. And you're going to need somebody to help you, because you've got a lot of little memories that were horrible. You do. And I don't know if you've suppressed them. I don't know what you've done with them. But if they're live and kicking, I know you can't be feeling too great. And I can help you with that, okay? Other people can help you with that too, I'm sure, okay? I don't even know what else to say. So I'm gonna end this right here. Again, if you leave me a message, I see my messages. And reach out. I'm going to be reaching out for you or to you, okay? And I'm going to send you love and healing. I'm going to do some healing work for you tonight. All right? I guess that's it for now, okay? I will see you in the next one. Devonte, you are loved. I love you and I send you love. Hannah, I love you and I send you love. To all of your siblings, I send you love. Hannah, if you are lingering around, hanging around because of him, do what you feel you need to do. But if at any point you feel like you're ready to move on and you need some help with that, you can talk to me. I don't know why I'm looking at the screen talking to you, because you're right here somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to sign out on that one. Okay. I know this was a little different. Again, this is the Hart family, the Hart children. I saw that there's a documentary on the kids. I didn't watch a whole lot. I was, that whole night, I was like, woo. And I think it took me a whole day afterwards, just like come back to normal. All right. So I will see y'all later. Thank you for watching. Those of you who did, please like, subscribe. This is one that I'm going to ask you to share because I want it to reach Devonte or somebody that knows him. Okay. So I might even see if I could find his picture or something so that he might even see his own picture and see this video and look at it. All right. So, all right, y'all. Peace. Have a wonderful day, evening, what have you. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo, and I thank you, my ancestors, guides, and angels. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for leading me, guiding me, helping me to this place, helping me to do whatever it is I need to do. Work with me, work through me, do what you have to do. God, I thank you. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.